always said it. Take your time. My dad was a pretty remarkable man. I know people say that about people they know and love, and I don't know another word for it. My dad has 187 college credits. No degree with that. He just liked learning, but he didn't like that he was told he had to just tunnel into one major, right? Throughout his life, I mean, you see his art, and he was a brilliant artist, and for over 3 decades he made his living as an artist, which many of you artists in here and students know how challenging that can be. He did so many other things. You heard he dove for treasure, Ilya said. You know, the Scouts, he was a boat captain. In addition to being a pilot, his old business card used to say, what, by land, air, and sea. He was invested in experiences. So ever since we were little, we were brought everywhere, to everything. My dad worked with the Mountain Ute Indians on the Indian reservation in Colorado. Just like every cultural diversity piece he could get connected to, which is why some of that is so important to me and ingrained in me. I remember being a little kid, so in the art world with him, there might be a newspaper article from the Philadelphia Tribune on that back table with a picture of him with a number of folks with disabilities. And as kids, we would go to the Ohio House, Carousel House, and we would watch him teach people to paint with paintbrushes in their mouths. And we befriended them, and I remember a time my dad entered them into an art show, and he's all about equity, and he wants fair treatment. Sidebar, he wants fair treatment to the point where when my son, Jeremiah, and I, where's my husband, now we're going on 23 years, where'd he go? Where's my husband? He left me in my speech. Where's the supportive husband now? Is he in the bathroom?
Too emotional.
Oh my gosh. So our son, wave your hand in the back. This is Angelo. My dad, well, I'm going to save that sidebar. But sidebar, we're bocce family. When Angelo learned how to play bocce at 2 years old, we have a bocce court on the property. And everybody that would come to the bocce parties, some of you are here that would come to the parties, people would be wanting to favor Angelo. Oh, come on, give it to the little kid. This is bocce. That was Pot's answer. This is about fairness and equity. I'm not sure it played well in that example, but he wanted to, have him learn how to play bocce the right way. But anyway, back to this story with art. He enters his students, these folks with the disabilities I was telling you about, into an art competition. And at that time in the 80s, there was not a lot of handicap accessibility required. So he enters them into the competition and never once mentions they have a disability. So when they show up, they're in a bit of a shock. They have no idea how to get them in the building. Long story short, they figure that out. They're in the front row. And who wins the art show? His students. So it was a pretty proud moment for him. But I could go on and on with the experiences we've had. But I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to be the strong one to come up here and read a poem that my mom wrote. I don't know how strong I'll be. I brought the tissue box. But they just started their 50th wedding year. 58 years together. Right, round of applause on that one. They taught me how to do it. They taught my husband how to do it. And my mom wrote this poem before he passed, when he was in the hospital in December. And when she shared it with me, I read it and I said, "You wrote that?" Because the way it's written, I thought Pop wrote it. But my mom is a really good writer. She has a lot of great poetry. And I guess after 58 years, you're so in sync that it could be either one of them on the paper. So I'm going to read the poem to you.
Come on, Mona.
It's called Raise a Glass. Do not mourn me. The irony, I'm crying as I'm about to read the words you'll hear. You'll understand in a second. Do not mourn me. Don't drown me in black cloth and quiet whispers. Laugh loud. Drink deep. Tell the stories that made me live. Remember the bad jokes. The times we swore we'd never forget and don't. I was here a life well lived. I want something more than tears. Sorry, Pop. So raise a glass of anything and dance a little. Laugh a lot. Let the wind take my name. I'll be listening. Do not mourn me. Celebrate me. My dad. He's your artist friend. He's an amazing husband. He was an amazing father. And what I get really excited about is, I could be really selfish and say this isn't fair. He lived 76 years. I want another 15 more. I know people lose people at age 10 and 20 and 40, and he lived a full life. And it makes me feel so proud that he even had been a grandfather for 20 years. So our son Angelo will be 20 in 10 days. We have Ava, wave your hand, Ava. And John Paul's daughter Thea is not here. So I'm going to pass on for a small performance here. Not small, I mean big, beautiful, listening to them earlier. I want to turn your attention to Paul and Alex with the violin and the piano. When they finish, those of you seated, we will ask you to turn your chair around. And everyone bring your attention to the TV, where we have a show of pictures, audio, and video, and hopefully it all works, so give us some grace. And you will understand why the song that plays first, when you get to that video, it is a Frank Sinatra song, I won't give it away yet, but you'll understand why we picked that as it connects to the poem. So everyone, if you have a glass in your hand, if you don't, raise your hand to Pop. Thank you all for being here.